a sewing room slash craft room slash studio, you have to have a place for everything or it can get out of control really fast. I'm going to show you some of my eclectic solutions. I do a lot of upcycles and it requires lots of bits and bobs and jewelry and lace pieces and scraps and patches. And I get asked all the time, how do you keep all that organized? Well, I'm going to show you. So I'm in my basement and way at the end down here, I have a storage room. Okay, first of all, I love racks to organize my linen tablecloths and laces that are in the bigger chunks. That way I can just sort of look through and see what I have. Here's some pretty little towels that I'll use someday. Curtains for floral fabrics and things, or floral appliques and things like that. Some great chenille. I haven't figured out a project for that yet, but I've got my mind thinking. I have a rack inside what would have been the closet here, and this is a spare bedroom. And I store more colorful, dark, and more patterned materials to upcycle. These are fun. Tea towels from the thrift store. I have this old vintage coat, which is partially silk. It's a little small for me. I'm still thinking of ideas for that. Some fur and leather. Now, this rack, which is at the other end of my storage room, is more of the clothes that I may upcycle, that I kind of like how they are, that I may use some of those patterned fabrics and things to add to. You know, I think, well, here's a pair of striped jeans. That would be a sort of fun bloomery sort of thing. Couple shirts. Lots of velvet. I love velvet, so I have lots of velvet skirts. Dresses. Now, over here, I have one of these pantry sort of racks that you hang on the inside door of a pantry for, you know, all your food and stuff, but they're the perfect size for my ribbons. And they have those little hooks to go over doors and they fit, let me show you. They actually fit perfectly. I have two little holes in my shelves and I stick them right in there. I have some old thank you cards from when I used to sell, and I wrap my ribbons around these if I have a big chunk. And these are just little card hang tags, also back from when I sold. They're perfect now for organizing my ribbons. So shelves, baskets, tubs are my best friends as far as organizing. So in this laundry basket, I have my yarns. In this little tub, I just have filling from like pillows. I just got this at a garage sale. It's a queen size chenille bedspread in shams. That could make something wonderful. I haven't come up with a project for that yet, but I think it was like $12. Too good to pass up. Now, in here, I got a collection at the thrift store. It was all in a big bag it must have been somebody was a quilter, and all these fabulous fabrics that are like cotton and a little bit on the smaller side. Now, I have a place for everything, but as you can see, that place isn't totally organized. But when I'm cleaning up, I know right where to go with stuff, and I know where to go when I'm looking for something. And this basket here, I have tulle. Now I have sort of a drawer type tub here. Let me show you closer. So in this drawer, I keep all my small scraps of trims. There's no sense in organizing this like super neat because I dig through here like mad sometimes. But just all the pretty little pieces that I don't want to get rid of and definitely will, you know, come into play at some point on maybe a purse or a necklace. And then on top of here, I have a little basket that sometimes when I cut patches and make patches for clothes and stuff, I have extra that I don't use, or pieces that would be cute patches, just small pieces. I keep them in this little basket. Now over here, I keep strips. If I'm making a project and I have extra strips, I'll throw them into here because I make a lot of bags with collage fringe. Now I'm still on that first shelf. And in this basket, I have my leather and suede scraps. If it's a full jacket, leather or suede, I'll hang it on the rack. But once I've cut it, I put it in here. And in here, I have all my little fabric flowers. You know, they're not all fabric. Let's see. I have like little leathery flowers. Just anything flower or floral, I'll put in this basket. So I know right where to go when I need something like that. Now in this tub, I just keep all my fabrics that have been cut already, like curtains and bed sheets and things that have florals for appliques. Now, if it's a big piece, I will hang it on a rack. But once I cut into it and it's a smaller piece, I have this little tub. Now on the shelf right next to this one, I have up top blankets that I don't really need to access very frequently. Now on these two shelves, I have just plain old fabrics that I've thrifted and stuff. You would think I'd have a lot more actual fabric pieces than this, but really my upcycles, a lot of the stuff comes from bed sheets and curtains and skirts and other clothing. So for actual fabrics, that's about all I have. Okay, so now I'm towards the bottom of that shelf. And next to it, this is just kind of shoved underneath of the upcycle clothing rack that I have. And it's scraps of upholstery fabrics and things like that. And I don't go nuts trying to organize these because I never know what I want. And I just dig through. Sometimes I just dump it all on the floor, sort through it. It's how I do things. So in this little basket, I have just t-shirts, scraps. Here, I have scraps of velvet. Again, if it's a full piece of clothing, I'll hang it on the rack. And in here are all my flannel scraps. And I have one more little space in case something new comes into my life. Now, I just showed you shelves on that side of the room. And on the opposite wall, I have more. Here I have an empty little table, which is a must. You always have a cup of coffee or your phone or you're pulling stuff, setting it somewhere to take it out to your workspace. And I also have another one of those pantry shelving units here for fringes and trims. And I wrap a lot of these on little cards and things like I do the ribbon. Now, the poles of these shelves make great storage for all my belts. I can come in here and look pretty easily at what I have. And I have a lot of my lace on this wall. So, right, this is my husband's computer server or something like that. I have some sheets here that are ready to upcycle if I should need them. And I have 2 tubs full of just trims and laces, things like that. I get a lot of that on eBay. I buy them in a lot. And here I just have some prettier linen type pieces if I want something a little pretty and decorative for a project. Now here, I'll bring you in a little closer. Now on this shelf, I keep what I call small doilies, you know, doilies and small pieces of lace. I just have them in like 4 separate little stacks so that I can look through them easily. So down here, I need to fold these, but I have eyelet fabrics. And in here, I have fur scraps. I have a laundry basket full of upcycled denim pieces, things that have already been cut. Now I just showed you this shelf, and then on this middle shelf, more sheets. And this is my bigger lace. The biggest lace I hang on the racks. So these are my bigger, like, table runners. I have 2 stacks of those. And on this shelf is more of my colorful doilies. Now, at the bottom of that shelf, I have a stack of what I consider pretty linens, like gauzy, thin. Sometimes they have pretty designs. A lot of this stuff I use for ruffles. And I also have a little stack here as well of the same sort of thing. Now, this is just a stack of lace that I've cut off of maybe a curtain. I only have like a big rectangle left or something like that. I fold them up and put them right here. In this basket, I have colorful scrap pieces of lace. And in this basket, I have white scraps of lace that are just kind of too small or raggedy to fold, but I sure use this basket. I come to this basket a lot when I'm doing decorative little lacy pieces. So on this end of the room, I just take those little screw hooks and put them into the walls, and that way I can hang some of my favorite upcycled pieces, and I know where they are. I have this little hook to help get them off the wall here. And I store a lot of my white on this rack, whether it needs to be upcycled or it is upcycled, because that's a lot of time in the shot when I'm filming, and I just think the white looks so soft and pretty. Now I have an old dresser here that I got at a auction, painted it, and I store, I'll show you inside, but I store earrings, bracelets, rings, kind of junk jewelry, and some patterns and things. And then on top of the dresser, I have this old wire torso, and I stick sunglasses in there, and I have a lamp, and I stick a lot of my pretty brooches just in the lampshade. It helps decorate things. You know, this is all costume jewelry, but in this drawer, I just laid a piece of fabric in the bottom of it, and I have my rings and just some other random things like a choker, stuff like that. Now this is just sort of a junk drawer with some broken things. I haven't sorted through this yet to really get it organized. In the top drawer, I laid another piece of fabric, and I have bracelets, watches, things like that. In this drawer, I keep earrings. In this drawer, I keep a lot of my fusible interfacing and also patterns that I make. And I like to put my patterns in a Ziploc and then write what they are. I'm so glad I'm doing this video because I was about to tell you these two bottom drawers are broke. I don't really use them. So I tried them and I opened the bottom one and I found some old stuff that I hadn't seen in a long time. Just some pretty jewelry pieces, an old rhinestone neck. I can't believe I forgot about this. What? Well, I'm thrilled. And this was in here too. A basket full of old trims. These are kind of my favorite sorts of trims with the scallops. Now I need to reorganize these, but at least I know they're here now. Now over here, I have a full-length mirror and a room divider screen, see? And why I have these set up like this is I have a wall of windows, including sliding glass doors, that don't have curtains. And I'm down here a lot of times in the mornings in the dark. Sometimes I have to try on a shirt or try on something. So I'll duck behind the room divider screen, do my business, and as I'm back there, I can look right into the mirror without having to come out, get a little paranoid with no curtains on the windows. My mom found these industrial sort of racks a long time ago. I don't know if she got them at a garage sale or a thrift store, but I hang all my purses that I make and ones that I carry as well. Now I have an old desk here that I painted. In this drawer, I keep safety pins, extra markers. In this drawer, I keep my electric scissors, box cutter. And on top here, I have more jewelry display. This is a cupcake tower that I got off Amazon. And I put all my pretty brooches on here. And on the very top, I just have pendants that don't have a home. They don't have a chain, but I have them if I want to put them on a chain. Now over here is an old mirror that I thrifted years ago. And on top of it, I have a cake plate that I got from Amazon. And this just displays the beautiful jewelry from my friend Maya. She makes them out of polymer clay. Gorgeous. They needed their own place. Now over here, next to my sewing machine, I have drawers full of thread and sewing notions. Top drawer, I still have hang tags. These are what I used to put on my upcycled items when I sold. I have a whole drawer full. Ribbons, I could organize that and throw those in my ribbon rack in the back. And my thread, let me show you how messy my thread is. Now, I keep my threads not on those nice spool pegboards and things, or pegboards for spools. I should, but you know, for me, I know where to put thread if I'm cleaning my space. Elastic and zippers. And then I just have a bulletin board where I just pin things up there that I don't want to get lost. You know, fun little patch, a pretty little piece of lace that I don't want to get lost in my big storage basket of lace. These little black risers at the bottom of my work table have saved my back. I used to have to bend over to do stuff. We got it up at a level where I could just stand straight up. And then I have my iron and ironing board right on the back side of my workspace, a mirror, some more items hung up on the wall. That little chair, you know, if someone comes down and wants to chat with me, like my husband, he has a little spot to sit while I'm sewing here. And plus I can lay fabrics and extra things on that chair that I don't really have room for on my table as I'm sewing. This is an old room divider screen. I don't know, kind of a cheap wood. I've had it forever. I'm not even sure where I got it anymore. I just take hooks like this and I screw it into the screen and I can display all my necklaces. Now these are necklaces that I hang on to because sometimes they become embellishments on bags. Sometimes I wear them. Okay, over here, just a shelf and one of those storage units. I keep all my wrapping paper, tissue paper, gift bags. And then on this shelf, I like to keep an empty basket because a lot of times I want to take stuff upstairs. I have a place just to throw a bunch of stuff if I don't want to juggle everything. And here I have appliques and patches. Acrylic paints, fabric dye, cardstock, crayons, colored pencils. I have tie-dye kit. Here I just have some empty little jugs. Sometimes I use something like this to do bleaching, you know, little tubs to mix paint in. And down at the bottom, I have stencils, paintbrushes. Over here, shelves for sweaters. I have, it used to be my packing table here when I sold. I had a whole shipping and packing table, you know, a rack for shoes, you know, an upcycle, a dress that's already been partially cut up for upcycling projects. I just hang them up on the wall. I have this old thrifted, it's a shoe rack, I believe, but I hang like headbands and some of the upcycled scarves. And then just some shelves. I keep my shoes. And here are my jewelry making supplies, like, you know, the little rings and jewelry glue. Okay, I have racks and racks of clothing. Now, the ones in the front are clothes that I wear on a regular basis. And these are racks of my upcycles. You know, I have a skirt, vest, overalls, bloomers, dresses, dusters, jackets, some dusters here. Over here, this was from Hobby Lobby. Drawers full of just little beads and charms and doodads and all of that. And then I also have these kind of wooden cheese boxes full of different sorts of beads. And last but not least, I have a thrifted bulletin board that I just stick a straight pin in and hang my hats. I hope that helps. I get a lot of questions. How do you store all those little bits and bobs and fabric scraps, things like that? Thank you so much for watching.